Interesting things, and this was most certainly interesting. Tom Brady hasn't played in the NFL since 2022. He's 48 years old. He was in an interview on CNBC Sport, and he acknowledged that he spoke to the league about returning to the field while being a minority owner of the Raiders. You be the judge.
Have you at least inquired if that's allowed?
Funny enough, you ask. I actually have inquired, and they don't like that idea very much. So I'm going to leave it at that. We explored a lot of different things, and I'm very happily retired. Let me just say that, too.
Okay, I'm just going to skip over the I'm going to say that part two part. I don't think he was kidding. Everyone, was he joking around? Look at Jordan, he's shaking. I don't think he was kidding. And over breakfast this morning, Mike Tannenbaum and I sat down and we put together, Jordan, a list of, we think, at least 5 teams and maybe 6 that Brady would be a better option to be their quarterback at the age of 49, and they currently have. Did you see this play he made in this flag game the other day where he makes that juke and then throws that rope to Stephon Diggs in the back of the end zone? Jordan Rogers, what do you think?
I mean, look at the athleticism. I don't care if it was Logan Paul or I Show Speed chasing him down. He olays the rusher, throws a dime to Diggs in the back corner. Look, he's dating 25-year-old models, so we know the stamina is still there. You see the athleticism right there. The arm still looks good. He's starting for the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Browns, maybe the Vikings. Shoot, Kyle Shanahan loved him. He might sign him up even though he loves Brock Purdy. There's a lot of teams, I think, that could still use a 48-year-old Tom Brady.
Well, we were writing names down. Not the I don't think the Titans, because they just drafted, but there's a bunch of teams out there. All kidding. I mean, he can't play and be an owner, right? There were rules against it. There's literally no chance of that. So he's not coming back to play. He has a lot of jobs as it is. But the way he said that made me think that he has actually thought about it.
No question about it. And again, the 5 we said, Jets, Cleveland, Arizona, Minnesota, Atlanta, that he would go in today and be the best quarterback in the building. Now, whether or not he can last for 17 games at that age is certainly a question, but based on the shape he's in, there's no question he would upgrade those teams, at least short term.
Nobody lasts 17 games. Jordan, finish it up.
I mean, it's just fun to see him out there competing. And you think if MJ can come back, Brady would love to come back. You know it was a real thing. He asked questions. He thought about it, and he goes, well, I'm making $300 million. Plus, to not play, so might as well keep my body intact.
I'm not getting hit.
That's exactly right. Yeah, maybe flag football. He was actually as good as anybody that we had from the NFL team in that flag football game. Jordan, stay close by.
Sports Center, Kevin Nagandi with you. The rewards keep on coming for Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. Named Offensive Player of the Year, won a Super Bowl, and then this week agreeing to a 4-year extension. $169 million, making him the highest paid receiver in NFL history. He talked about the deal.
It's an honor to feel that confidence come from your teammates and come from, the third floor and your head coach. And, for us to get this deal done, speaks volumes. Definitely just a little weight off my shoulders and just to go out there and, let it fly. There's not enough words to show my excitement and show my love for the city and this organization, but, you'll see it on Sundays.
Well, JSN got paid, but another Pro Bowl wide receiver's in limbo. It wasn't a fun year for A.J. Brown and the Eagles' offense this past season. He questioned his role, got into it with head coach Nick Sirianni in the playoff loss, and then the questions started about his future. The head coach and GM Howie Roseman were non-committal, and the trade rumors, they haven't died down. Senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler joins us. This isn't cut and dry, Jeremy. There's a lot of nuance here, including some salary cap issues. What's the latest you're hearing about a potential move?
Kevin, the latest is this is a bit of a stalemate between the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. New England is the only known team right now that's involved. You've had the Rams check in. They inquired. They sort of backed out. Some people tried to tell me the Kansas City Chiefs. I was told they were never really in it. And so does somebody else step up and make something happen between now and, say, the draft? Now, you mentioned the salary cap implications. If they want to wait till June 2nd and beyond, they save a lot on their cap. But with the draft coming up, it's a deep wide receiver class. So those teams could move on. They could take somebody in late April. That's why I suspect maybe closer to the draft, a couple days before, things could heat up a little bit. Also with Philadelphia, Kevin, they also want to try to add an edge rusher at some point. Jonathan Grenard, they've been implicated there. Minnesota Vikings pass rusher. Yeah. So something has to come to a head, and they have multiple options in the air right now.
We'll see how this plays out over the next few weeks leading up to the draft. You mentioned the Chiefs. Well, Chiefs fans, they got some good news yesterday. Patrick Mahomes posting video of himself throwing as he rehabs from December surgery to repair the ACL and LCL on his left knee. Mahomes wrote this, quote, felt great being able to throw the ball around. So what are you hearing about this recovery with Mahomes? Again, that's a good sign, but still, that knee hasn't been really tested so far. What are you hearing about his return, potentially being ready for week 1?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing that he's been a fixture in the Chiefs building. He's been really getting after this aggressively every day, rehabbing for hours in the Chiefs building, as they expected. The Chiefs knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to tackle this full bore, but they're not really rushing this at all. You know, you saw him throwing lightly. He's going to graduate eventually to some running and some cutting down the road. But this is an ACL and an LCL tear, and so pretty involved. It's just going to take some time. Certainly, he is counting on being ready for week 1. That is his hope. The Chiefs are not going to count him out by any stretch. But when they got Justin Fields via trade, they figured Fields can be a dual threat for us. He can run the offense, and he has a lot of experience. So if he starts 1 game, 4 games, 0 games, all is good. But they at least have some insurance now behind Mahomes.
And one thing Fields can do, he can run, something that we didn't see with Mahomes in this offense. Fields was a day 1 pick. Mahomes was a day 1 pick. Let's talk about a guy that potentially could be a day 1 pick. A lot of questions surrounding Ty Simpson. He had his pro day yesterday. What are you hearing? What's the buzz around that performance?
Well, Kevin, he believes and expects to be a first-round pick, and I'm told that he's working in a range of, say, 10 to 32. Probably not a top 10 pick right now, but there are just so many teams that need a quarterback, and when I ask people around the league, scouts, execs, you know, they bring up the Arizona Cardinals, who picked 3rd overall. Maybe they could take a defensive guy at 3 and then trade back into the late 1st. You know, New York Jets have 2 first-rounders. Cleveland Browns have 2 first-rounders. Both need a quarterback to develop at some point. And so there are just going to be too many options for him. You know, even if teams have a 2nd-round grade on him in some cases, he's going to get elevated. And he's sort of played himself into a good position here. And so, you know, like even the Miami Dolphins. I mean, there are just a lot of teams that come up when you ask around the league about Ty Simpson.
Specifically, that 5th year on a rookie deal plays a big role here. And we saw that a year ago.
No doubt.
The Giants with Jackson Dart moving back into the 1st round in those 20s and finding a way to get their quarterback who they believe is now going to be the franchise face.
Yes.
We'll see if that's going to be the case.
That's a good trend to watch.
Quarterback. Jeremy, thank you.
Thing you need to know, soon-to-be 49-year-old Tom Brady kicked the tires on coming out of retirement. You all know he stepped aside in 2023. Then he became a minority owner of the Raiders the next year. Actually, the NFL prohibits players from being owners, but that didn't stop Brady from checking in. Take a listen.
I actually have inquired, and they don't like that idea very much. So I'm going to leave it at that. We explored a lot of different things, and I'm very happily retired. Let me just say that, too. So I loved being out there playing in the flag game. I love not getting hit. I've got a lot of really fun things I'm involved in, and it's never going to be old, you know, and get old throwing passes to incredible athletes on the football field. But if anything, that game reconfirmed to me that I'm very happy in my retirement.
And that he can still throw the football really well. From a legendary career now, young buck just getting started. Number 4 on the starting 5, Ty Simpson threw at Alabama's pro day yesterday, and he was asked if he considers himself a 1st-round pick, and he said, quote, absolutely. I feel like I've done everything I can. NFL analyst Mike Tannenbaum is with us now. Now, you have studied the tape. Is he correct? Is he a 1st-round pick in your estimation?
Absolutely. I have Fernando Mendoza 1, and I have Ty Simpson as the 2nd quarterback. I think he'll go in the top half of the 1st round.
Really? Top half of the 1st round? Why? Give me some teams that you think up there might be interested.
Yeah, supply and demand. After Fernando Mendoza, so many teams, when you look at Arizona, not saying they would take him at 3, but maybe they trade back into the 1st round. The New York Jets at 16, the Rams at 13, Hannah, try to win for today, develop for tomorrow. Then you think about Miami, even with Malik Willis, Pittsburgh, Minnesota. There's a number of teams, and knowing there's only another quarterback in Ty Simpson, somebody could trade up for him.
Yeah, it's interesting because Field Yates has him going all the way down to 26 to the Cardinals, but the general consensus is 1st round. So good for him. Thanks, Mikey T.
All right, good to see you.